There are more hybrid models on the market than you probably know about, and more being added all the time. Case in point, Kia's 2017 Niro. It's their first dedicated hybrid, and they claim that its distinguishing factors are that it looks good and drives well, unlike some hybrids. Prius. It's a bold claim, so we will look at those claims and see what we think. Let's start with the first one, which you can decide for yourself, how it looks. Now, I definitely think it looks less weird than the Prius, though some would say the front still has that Kia look that is typified by the new Sportage. Overall, it's about the size of a Prius, but you'll notice it's kind of higher riding. It looks a little bit like one of the subcompact SUVs or crossovers if you must. And in terms of interior space, it's similar in that regard too. It's a little bigger inside than the Chevy Trax, but not quite as roomy as the Honda HR-V. Now on to the driving aspect. In one regard, Kia definitely has a point, and that is because the Niro uses a conventional 6-speed automatic transmission. And that is not the case for many hybrids, including all Toyotas and Lexuses. Like most hybrids, you have the requisite hybrid-specific displays. There's a simple energy flow diagram between the gauges, and the same in the center touchscreen, shows which way the power is flowing, as well as the usual, game-style means of seeing how well you're driving, how economically it'll just grow leaves on the tree, and of course fuel economy. So the most recent short drive we did, we got 39.7 miles per gallon, and that raises the question, how efficient is this thing? Well, according to the EPA, the Niro is not as efficient as the Prius. It comes in 3 different versions. The lowest trim level, the FE, is rated 52 miles per gallon city, 49 highway. The LX and EX trim levels are 51 city, 46 highway, and the Touring, which we're sitting in, gets 46 city and 40 highway. And when you see what the combined ratings are for the Prius, 52 miles per gallon on the regular one and 56 in the Eco, you start to understand why Kia is emphasizing how it looks and how it drives. Now this is a bit of a change for a hybrid with a normal transmission, but similar to the Toyota and Lexus hybrids, the city rating is higher than the highway rating. Now the combined ratings are either 50 miles per gallon for the FE, 49 for the 2 middle trim levels, LX and EX, or 43 for the Touring, which we're sitting in. So why so low for the Touring? Well, the company says it adds 113 pounds worth of features and different wheels and tires. Still, that's a big difference for not a whole lot of weight. It really does suggest that the car is sensitive to the amount of weight you put in it. Another selling point for the Niro is passenger volume. It has 4 cubic feet more than the Prius and 3 more than the Ford C-Max hybrid. Now, by the numbers, there's 1.5 inches less front seat legroom, but I'm 6 feet tall and I'm fine in this thing. There's actually a lot of seat travel, so in that regard, a bit of an advantage. The back seat is where the Niro really earns its stripes. It has 4 inches more legroom than the Prius and 1 inch more than the Ford C-Max. Even with the driver's seat all the way back, my knees are clear. Car design is a balancing act, so the larger passenger volume means less cargo volume behind the back seat. The Prius actually has about 40% more, but once the seats are folded down, the Toyota, the Kia, and the Ford are all about the same for total cargo volume. Overall, the Prius is a tough target to hit. The Niro comes close in some ways, exceeds it in some, but its biggest problem is the same one the Prius and all other hybrids have, which is that gas is so inexpensive right now. It makes whatever quirks remain in hybrids a little bit harder to live with, also a little harder to live with the premium price you might pay, and any chance you have of making that back on fuel savings in the future.